Welcome everyone to another edition of the Farver Insider. Wow, what a beautiful day it
It
is!
is gorgeous
Best
today.
best day of the year,
Yep.
easily the best day of the year. It was a little wet at first in the morning, but definitely cleared up. Um, we have a we have a few different subjects we're going to talk about today. Very important subjects, and we're going to jump right into it. We're going to go right into it, everyone. So first of all, we had a victory. We had a victory, everyone, at the school committee, the Fall River School Committee. So the school department was not releasing the budget before the budget deliberations. It's a
Hmm.
policy they have been doing for many years.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense. Even the mayor of the city of Fall River called it a bygone policy. Even he said it wasn't a good idea, and I agree with him. Um, but still, the school department, for whatever reason, just didn't want to release it. And again, like the school committee member said, I don't think anyone was specifically trying to hide anything. I don't think, but we had a victory, everyone. We had many people, and this is how you do it, everyone. If you advocate for something and you push something through, if you want to push your opinion through, it will work. If you have the public on your side, you have to advocate for what you believe in always. And we did that. Jeff, you submitted a letter. Boomer submitted a letter. We had up to 7 people, including myself, either submitting a letter or speaking as citizens input. The letters were written out, and it made the point. We ruffled some feathers as well, Jeff. We ruffled some feathers as well, and but we accomplished something good for the community. We did something that increases transparency. Now the city of Fall River public and the city public can see where their school tax dollars are going towards, while there is school department budgets. And now, before the budget's approved, now we can all see the budget for ourselves and give our opinion on different matters. And then next week coming up, we're going to talk about we're gonna break down the school department budget. We're gonna break it down a little bit today, but I do want to play videos from the school department meeting once it loads up. Where I'm going to play everyone's citizens input, and I'm also going to replay a response from in not an altercation, but it was a little bit of a back and forth on the school committee floor after that, which I think was very interesting. And I'm going to give my response to it, and then everyone can give their response once this video loads. It's a minute 30 seconds in. We have a few citizens input. We had up to 7, including everyone submitted letters that were written out loud. We're gonna play them, let them have their exposure, see what great of a job they did. We accomplished something great, as discussed, and we're gonna play it, and then we can give our play-by-play commentary as we go.
Puts tonight, first, Johnny David, Saxon Street.
This was a very eloquent speech, and I made sure to tell him that. Very
Dear
eloquent.
School Committee, I am writing to ask about why this body feels it is not necessary to provide the residents of Fall River with the budget. There is a lot of talk about transparency and openness around election season, but as soon as the ballot boxes close, it's back to business as usual. It is very foolish to think the good times will never end. We need good sound management of the budget and more than the typical smiles and handshakes that everyone will be okay. Just trust me. These are abnormal times for our youth, and while I will cut you some slack in affirmation that this is the first time anyone has handled these challenges, it only underscores the need to have open and regular dialogue with families who are looking to grow their children's potential. We need to give these children every chance to succeed, and having a closed for policy during budget session is an affront to the directive you serve while being a member of the school committee, to the families you serve as residents of Fall River, and to the futures of the very children that are relying on you to do the right thing to set them up for success. Johnny David.
Next, Gabriel Amaral, Indian Town Road, Fall River.
Boomer, that's you.
Good afternoon, school committee members. My name is Gabriel Amaral, address 901 Indian Town Road, Fall River, Mass. I am sending this email in regards to the school budget. I agree with Mr. Aguirre and Ms. Rodriguez on the fact that this budget should be made public prior to being voted on. The citizens of this great city should be able to address their concerns prior to being on the hook for any bill. I think lack of transparency has been a daunting issue in this city for quite some time now, and it's time we
I
correct
agree.
that. Thank
I
you very
agree,
much
Boomer.
for your time and all that you do for the youth of our city. Respectfully, Gabriel Boomer Amaral.
CJ Ferry, Buffington Street.
Very happy to see CJ joining on.
Members of the school committee, it has come to my attention that the Fall River School Department and the Fall River School Committee refused to provide draft copies of the proposed FY23 budget. As you may be aware, any document reviewed, received, or used by the Fall River School Committee, whether in draft or final form, becomes a public document and is available to the public upon request. The executive session rule would not apply to keep this budget away from the public eyes, as nothing in the budget is covered under any of the exceptions for executive session. To promote transparency in the budget process and within the Fall River School Department, availability of these documents would go a long way to show that the Fall River School Department is not trying to slip things by the general public. I hope to see that the proposed FY23 budget is made available to the public in draft form, as it is common practice with all other city departments, whereas the school department budget makes up 50% of the city budget. We, the people, have the right to know. I thank you for your opportunity to present my position to the school committee. Respectfully, CJ Ferry.
Next up, Sheila Dias, Ray Street, Fall River.
Good afternoon, school committee members. My name is Sheila Dias, and I am a mom with a son who attends Durfee High School. As a parent, I want to see all the funds the school department receives go towards the students receiving the best possible education that this district can possibly give. The school department should publish the budget before the budget hearings, so parents like me can have the opportunity to weigh in. That's the right thing to do. That would be the option that is most transparent to the residents of this great community. Thank you to Kevin Aguirre and Sarah Rodriguez for sticking up for transparency. We, the parents, love and respect that. I hope that we see changes by the school department to correct this issue. The taxpayers of this community deserve it. Thank you to everyone for allowing me the opportunity to write this letter. Sheila Dias.
Jeffrey Goodrow, Palmer Street, Fall River.
Hello to the members of the Honorable Fall River School Committee. I am writing today because I heard they are not releasing the FY23 budget ahead of the budget deliberations. That doesn't make any sense to me. This community deserves full transparency, and the public should see where its tax dollars are being used. Again, we need full transparency of school department dollars. We shouldn't take any steps to sugarcoat that. We should see how the school department is using dollars to support our Fall River students, and we should be able to see the budget and to offer an opinion during the budget deliberation meetings. I hope the Fall River School Committee takes steps to fix this transparency issue. Thank you, Jeffrey Gondro.
Next is Robert Dias, Ray Street, Fall River.
Hello, Fall River School Committee. I would like to see the school department publish the budget before school committee budget deliberations start. It would give an opportunity to the entire public to weigh in and be able to give a fully informed opinion during budget meetings. Thank you, Robert Dias Jr.
Colin Dias, Ray Street, Fall River.
Good afternoon, members of the Fall River School Committee. First of all, I think the letters from other city residents speak for themselves. Again, I am disappointed the school department will not publish its fiscal year 23 budget on the city's
I
website.
always get the mic issues. Every single time I go to speak at a citizen's input, I always get like those random mic issues. I'm starting to think it's deliberate. I'm sorry. But let's continue.
Opportunity for the public to see where its taxpayer dollars are going. Dollars that are meant to give support to the students of our public schools, and to see that they are going before budget deliberations. Again, the school committee, school department should make every effort possible towards full transparency to the public. And we need to restore, especially everything that's happened, we need to restore the public's trust in city government. And to be frank, I think if the administration wanted to snap their fingers, you would see the budget published in 5 minutes. And I respectfully ask you, as a resident of this community, to commit fully commit to the transparency we all talk about on the campaign trail. Why don't we want to see this budget published? I asked that the school committee take a vote supporting the publishing of the budget, or to look at updating our policy, mandating that the budget and the budget summary be published on the city's website before budget meetings begin. And the fact that this school department has not already published a budget shows that it's no common sense towards this is common sense towards transparency. And it shows that we have a long way to go before this school district fully, and the city, fully commits towards transparency. And again, I want to thank you to Mr. Aguiar and Ms. Rodriguez for your dialogue on this very important issue. And to the other school committee members, please step it up and work hard for full transparency and accountability in our government in full. Thank you very much.
So before we continue, again, everyone, I want to thank everyone for submitting letters. Honestly, we did something great. We won. We won a small battle. We were able to take one more step towards full transparency in our city government, which is great. And when I say step it up, and Mr. Aguiar, Ms. Rodriguez were the only two I heard, and before we continue, that I've heard be transparent on this issue, speak up for this issue, and I just wanted to see more school committee members do that. I think that's fair. I just told the other school committee members, no disrespect, nothing, no animosity, just step it up a little bit. That's all I want to see.
Well, we just got new school committee last year, so except for one person who's still in office, Mimi Larrabee, so I don't think she really cares much about transparency. But
we know there are a few different. There are Paul Hart, Kevin Aguiar, and Mimi Larrabee are all incumbents, and the rest are new.
Well, I mean,
and Paul.
When it comes to just giving more transparency and more common sense and just giving us information, it's not that hard.
I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, sorry. Continue.
No. I just, as what you said, thanks everyone who give their inputs and information out to these school committee. Same thing with city councilors and administrations when it comes to the budgets. Hopefully that could be a lot more better by next year.
They always released the budget on the city side right before the budget deliberations. That's just, CJ Ferry was right. That's common practice to do that. And then we make our comments known during citizens' inputs. The same thing should have been and now will be done on the school committee side. That should never have happened. Should never have happened.
Hopefully it'll be a little better. When
we finally do have the budget. We do have the school committee budget. We're gonna go into a little bit of it today, and then future episodes we'll break it down little by little, so the public can see fully where the funds are going towards. But I'm just waiting for Boom. I really want to get Boomer's opinion on this one. We're gonna continue on. So we're gonna continue on. And we're going to talk about so the school committee actually responded a little bit, and there was a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a heated back and forth that I wanted to get into, and I actually wanted to get everyone's opinion on this. I want to
hear this now.
Committee of the whole. We're going to start our budget presentations tonight with finance.
Yes.
Mr. Almeida.
Good evening, Chairman. Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Mr.
I was We've gotten a couple of complaints and suggestions from the public related to the budget. I don't find any reason to think, I don't think Mrs. Ponce is hiding anything. I don't think Mr. Almeida is hiding anything. I don't think the committee's hiding anything. So I would recommend, I don't think it needs to be taken in a vote because now's not the right time. But I believe it just is good transparent practice just to post it on the website. So I think it would solve a lot of this issue if we just had the administration say, yes, we're going to post this on the website. When we do the draft, it's just a draft. We're going to work through it over the next several months collaboratively, and then we're going to have a final. I really don't think it's the best thing to do is just be up front of this and we're not hiding anything. So I recommend the superintendent just commit that she's going to post this, and let's just move on. And there will be more discussion. I think she's listening. Thank you.
I want to let Ms. Pereira talk.
So I'd like to address that citizens input as well. Because of course,
The concerns of the citizens are important to me. I was elected to serve them. I appreciate that you guys were applauded on speaking towards transparency. Maybe I need to
And she's speaking to both Sarah Rodericks and Kevin Nygaard. That's who she's referring to.
Oh, okay.
back and watch the meeting. I don't believe I ever sat here and said, I don't think it should be shown. Matter of fact, my recollection, Mr.
No one
Aguirre,
said
you
that
can
either. I don't remember.
tell me if
anyone
I'm
saying
wrong, but the first day we sat down to discuss finance, you wanted to adjourn. And I spoke up and said that, no, the taxpayers of Fall River deserve to hear this conversation. They deserve to see where their money's going, and they're watching. So I appreciate that the two of you are champions of transparency, so am I. And I think it's unfair and untruthful, more to the point, to say that the rest of us are not. What we had spoken with Kevin, he told us that's not the way they usually do it. I actually looked into it after that meeting, because I wasn't sure myself, found out they don't really do that on the city side. They haven't done it on the school committee side until we're putting forth a budget that has been approved. I don't have an issue with things being posted ahead of time. If Kevin tells me that it's inappropriate because it interferes with the way he does work, then I have to listen to that, because that's part of my job as well. No one up here is hiding a thing, which is why I advocated for continuing to have these finance meetings, as well as the administration, to continue to have these meetings so that the public is aware of what's going on and can hear the discussions that are happening. So I really need the public to know that certainly Kevin and Sarah, as well as myself, and I think I can speak for Bobby and Mimi, we want to be fully transparent, and we're not hiding a thing. And I think that's important that the public know. And I respect the superintendent. I think we all do, because we voted to have her. So I think we'll leave that decision up to her. And with that, I yield.
I do think going forward, I do want to make one quick announcement, Kevin. Going forward, obviously, this ran into some questions. So next year it will be up online as a draft, in a draft form, as we talked about briefly before the meeting. That's what I believe we should do. I talked to the superintendent, and she's in favor of it. So hopefully this won't happen again. And moving forward, this is why we have a committee with people offering different opinions to get change in the right places. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, this is the last time of a bygone practice. Mr. Aguirre.
So just so if I
Even
can
the mayor
comment,
said it.
there's nothing being hidden here.
Even the
I'm
mayor
gonna
thought
make
it
that
was a
very
bad
loud and
idea.
clear. And
All right. So, all right.
Was she offended that they only mentioned two people? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, I think
no
some
one
people-
said, not one. I'm sorry, Jeff. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Not one person said that Shelley Pereira was being not transparent. No one said that Mimi Larrabee wasn't being transparent. No one said Bobby Bailey wasn't, and they know that, by the way.
Of course.
They know it wasn't
I think
personal
I think
towards
Bobby
them.
knows damn well that
He does.
we
Yes.
support him. But-
Yes.
And listen, I get Mimi has her enemies in the city. I get that, but
Yeah.
obviously
And-
we all know I'm not it. I'm not one of them. But at the end of the day, like, Kevin spoke up.
And
when
Sarah,
it came to
yes.
it. Sarah spoke up when it
Yes.
came to it. Nobody else was really speaking up for it. in
And
favor
she
of it.
claimed, and
That's the issue.
and here's
That's
and-
what they were called out for. They were called out for actually speaking up and defending the fact that, no, this should be that way. And that's the
Yes.
only people I heard speak up for it. So
And she claimed that she spoke on this issue behind the scenes. But again, how are we, the general public, supposed to know that? There needs to be more communication.
stop
Right.
being behind the scenes. right?
Yes.
I don't know. Let's stop doing things in session. Right? What is
I
it?
agree.
And then she said something about I'm really not trying to I like her too. I think she's
It's
a
not
nice
about liking,
person.
it's about just when you. I mean, it's like big miscommunication. That when you this
But
is the third. This
no
is
one
the
said
third
What
one.
you do in executive session doesn't reach us.
No,
So how do we know what you say when the camera's not on? We
no
don't
one
know.
said anything untruthful. I think I want to
Correct.
refute that
Yeah,
first of
I
all.
have no problem with her at all at the moment. I mean, I'm sure at
I
some
don't
point we'll
either.
disagree on something. but
Yeah, and I have
right
no
now, I
problem
don't
with
have a
her
problem
either.
with any of them, really.
And I agree. Yeah, me too. I have the same
I think-
opinion.
City
if
council,
that's-
maybe, but school
That's
committee, I'm
that's
okay
the
with.
pro, and that's what he's just said. That's a big understanding. It's like we're not saying we don't like you. It's just like be upfront with us, be more
Mhm.
communications. It's like there's a
Thank
big
you.
difference from city council to school committee. It's like school committee is very small when it comes to city council. And again, this is like the third month for them. So it's like this.
Correct.
We gotta be more, understanding with them. They gotta be more understanding with us.
That
Come
and I
on.
don't expect them to be so aggressive, like
Right, no,
Bobby
they
just
shouldn't
said.
have to
like,
be.
Like I expect them to kind of learn their way around first. I'm all about that leniency, and like I said, I don't think I have an issue with anybody on the.
No,
school
I don't
committee.
I don't, and
I don't
and I
either.
really
City
don't
council,
either.
we obviously know there's a bunch of issues there, but
Right.
school committee, I think is.
And I did want to address one point
is
that
decent.
was said in that statement. That the school, that the city side doesn't release their budgets beforehand. We all know they do release their budgets before it's approved. The budget is released before the budget deliberation hearing, so the public can see and give their input. Of course, they do that. That's completely refutable that she said that. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, no animosity, and I guess I'm sorry if she took that the wrong way. We didn't mean to offend it. I mean, we're
No, it's not about being offended.
we are act. No, here's the thing. I'm being a little rhetorical, but we are act. You know what I mean? We have to have a passion. We have to have like a fiery spirit, and when we're advocating for something, it's not. No one should make it personal because it really wasn't personal.
No, but believe me, if there's other serious issues that we have in schools like bullying or stuff like that, then we should take it serious. But yeah,
Correct. I mean, if you're taking your pride into this, like, come on, there are more important issues to be worried about. Nobody said who didn't do anything.
Yes.
Nobody called anybody out.
And by the way,
Not that I saw, not that I heard.
And I'll speak for myself. I support Superintendent Ponce. I think she's doing the best she can. I'll support her. You don't know, and no one has to. That's just my personal. And I'm just speaking for myself. That's just my personal opinion. She's always answered my questions. If I have had a question, I would email her. She's always responded every single time. I don't think no one accused anyone specifically of trying to hide anything, at all. And I don't know why people thought we were. I don't know. I don't like when people put words in my mouth, and I don't like when people put words in the mouth of my colleagues or my friends who are advocating. That's not okay with me.
Listen, if people wanted to make it personal, there's plenty of personal things out there to make it personal with lots of people.
That's just how it is.
That was nothing personal. We did.
This is what needed to happen.
We did a good thing for this community. Correct. We did a good thing, and that's what. That's the bottom line.
But I don't know much about her right now. But I hope she does well.
Yeah, they all do well because my kids benefit when they do.
That's right. We want all our elected officials to do well, and
it's better than what we have.
And
before,
to end this on a positive note, I know I rag on him a lot, but I'm happy the mayor. I saw the mayor. He looked right at the superintendent. Can we just do this? Can we just do this? And I heard before, he was actually shocked that this was still in practice. I mean, I guess that's a little ignorant of him being the mayor, but again, I'm happy he.
Somebody's got to tell him.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy he was supportive of these efforts.
The bosses don't care about the school committee side. You know that.
That's fair.
But hopefully he figures it out.
All right. Before we go, I want to talk about two more subjects today, and it might be we're ending around 7:15. Just had to be somewhere, but I do want to talk about two topics. One is we actually have the budget. By the way, everyone, we actually have we have a budget. We have the budget, and let me tell you, this thing's bigger than the actual city budget. I just want to let everyone know that it's a lot of money in this. So it's going to take a lot. I appreciate that, Fall Overall. Thank you. No, I really do appreciate that comment. But going back to what I was just talking about, so we're gonna have to break it down in episodes. We can't break down the whole school committee budget. There's one thing I just want to talk about, and I'm not really giving in a definite opinion just yet, but it's something that we need to discuss right now, and it's the 67 positions that are being funded with ESSER funds. So just so everyone doesn't know, ESSER funds are the school department equivalent of ARPA funds. The same exact thing, except they're meant for the schools. The school department has their own funds. Mm-hmm. They are funding in this budget 67 positions with one-time monies, and you know how mad they were on the city side that they were doing that. So we have 67 positions. I'm not questioning. We're not going to question, at least this episode. We'll talk about in a future episode the validity.
There's definitely a few I disagree with.
Sure, and that's fine. And I would love to have a school committee member on or something like that, so we can go over each of these positions and see their worthiness. But I have some issues with 67 positions being funded in one-time monies. They're still they're
That's a
going to
lot.
and
so
they,
come next year, they're going to throw that in the budget, like, oh, we're
We
going
can't
to lose,
afford this.
we're going to lose all of these teachers, we're going to lose all of these people, and it's like, well, guess
Why are we
what?
doing
shouldn't
this?
we shouldn't have had 67 more of them.
Correct.
I
So
get it.
I'm
There's
just
things
kind
that
of
need to be done in the schools. Hiring 67 more people on one-time money is not it.
that's
Our paras are underpaid. Our teachers are, not all of them, but we know there are teachers abusing the hell out of the absenteeism. It's at all-time high.
Mm.
You know, they got used to the COVID leave, I guess. I don't know.
Correct.
You got paras that aren't qualified to be teachers, substituting and teaching kids. There's a standard. And the schools aren't letting any of these parents know that your kids are being taught by a para. No degree, no college credits, they're being taught by a high school graduate.
I'm not
Or a
arguing
GED
on that
graduate.
part.
You know, not that that's a bad thing. Not saying they're not intelligent. I know people that graduated high school and are millionaires. I know people that didn't graduate high school and are millionaires. Not saying that they're not intelligent, but you're in education.
yes.
You are not qualified to be the educator
Mhm.
at that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So that's where I have the issue. And parents not being aware of this is also an issue.
So what their plan is, they want to roll these 67 positions into the normal budget in the next few years. I really want to see the plan, the actual detailed plan for that, because how are they going to roll that in? They're going to need more. And here's the issue. Here's the issue we've been talking about, everyone. They're going to roll that in with the Chapter 70 funds.
Of course.
And they're not going to keep those 67 positions unless they get more Chapter 70 funds.
Which I doubt they will.
And Jeffrey, here's the trick with Chapter 70 funds. The city, the taxpayers pay for those funds. It's not free
Correct.
money.
Yeah, it's not free.
The city actually has. So we always talk about the $3 million deficit the city had. Now it's $5 million because we just received $20 million.
Well, you just talked about transparency. Why do we have to hire all these people when we know we can't really afford all of them? So I'm just curious to see what they are.
All right, I have them right here. We don't have them on the screen. We'll have them on for the next episode.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just curious.
So we have an associate principal for Durfee. We have a guidance counselor for Durfee, a teacher in science. This is Durfee. Teacher in math, teacher in ESL, a teacher in cosmetology. And these aren't good. These are good positions. These aren't bad positions. Here's the issue. But how are we going to keep these positions when we're using one-time monies? That's where.
Well, here's the thing. When you look at these salaries, you're paying a guidance counselor $100,000. You're paying your parents that are actually teaching these kids $15 an hour. There's a problem here. The people that are actually dealing with these kids on a day-to-day basis are being paid peanuts, and we're supposed to trust them to take care of our kids and want to do better for peanuts. But yet we're going to hire guidance counselors that maybe see the kids if a parent calls in and actually cares or tries. Then you got principals getting money. You got another assistant principal in there, hidden way down in the middle.
And cuss.
You know
I was going to go into that. That's
Again,
cuss, yes.
How many more administrators do we need? We are already administration top heavy.
We are.
Extremely top
We are. I 100% agree with you on
that
that.
does
We are.
not benefit our students.
We have a department head. I've seen 2 ELA department heads. And again, a lot of these aren't that. We have the instructional support liaison. We have a community facilitator, I mean, most of these positions aren't bad positions. I have a question. I have some questions on a few of them, but again, it's how are we going to pay for these in the future? How are we going to cut other positions? Are we going to raise?
Get rid of them?
So we're just gonna dump more Chapter 70 funds onto the school district just so we can raise our property taxes even more. Again, the more Chapter 70 funds this city receives, the school department receives, the more our city is going to pay in property taxes, sewer rates, water rates. It's gonna all go up. It's all gonna come to a head. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
On this,
We just got the most money we've ever gotten in decades, right?
Yeah.
And all our taxes, fees, all the made up theft charges all went through the roof, maxed out again. And they're already planning to do it again with Durfee coming in. They're already trying to do it with Diamond coming through. Explain to me how we can be that bad that the feds just bailed us out. Didn't have to, because people actually should have just went to work and did their job.
No.
But the Fed just bailed us out. And here we are putting ourselves further in debt, doubling down on the debt. For what reason? What are we accomplishing? Nothing. Nothing. The only people that are making money on this are those around the groups saying, oh, yeah, no, we're definitely going to use money on that. Oh, we should definitely take some of that millions of dollars and use it there. And every time he says that, he gets paid for it. It's weird.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Boomer. I just lost my train of thought. Every time there was like that music
I
goes
know.
by, I always lose my train of thought. Something needs to be done about the allocation of Chapter 70 fund. The formula that's used, there's something that needs to be done about that. And I'm just gonna throw a spitball out there. I would love to see our state legislator take an active role on this and how we can do that. It may be symbolic. They may not even listen, but it's one idea. And it's a very low signature count. We can put out non-binding petitions to be put on the midterm ballots for every state representative district, asking a state representative to take action on anything you want, really. So I was thinking about starting a petition this summer, to be put on the ballot for our state representatives to take an action on Chapter 70 funds, and so we don't bankrupt our cities anymore.
Well, we're voting on state reps this year, right?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the year.
We have
We do every year.
We
but-
have by far the worst state reps, period. Like, let's be real. Like, I got nothing against personally. Like, I don't really care for them either way.
You have
However-
Paul Schmidt, correct? I'm just out of curiosity. I don't. Or if
Never. Never met the man.
Okay.
So he ain't representing me. Never met me. Never came to me. Right? Running for council in his area. Never showed up. Why is that? Because I'm not part of his
Click.
team. You know what I mean? Got it. He's got all the money in the world. He can fight and he can do what he wants.
Hey, he
Go
might get voted out.
Go
He might
for
get
it.
voted. He might get voted out. He
I
could.
think there's a good shot at it right now.
Yeah.
With the people that are coming out, I think there's a good shot anyway. Alan Sylvia too. You know, I think there's a good chance that he's lost a lot. He lost a lot of relevance. When you look at everybody that just voted for the illegal immigrant ID, they all voted yes.
Oh, they did.
They all voted yes.
That I did not
They
know.
did.
So
So
what reason do you have to vote yes for that? You're being charged through the roof for everything that you do. I don't understand how that benefits anyone. How that motivates anyone to do the right things and go through citizenship the right way. And again, I have nothing against it. I deal with illegal immigrants every day. Everybody I work with is amazing. Everybody I've dealt with is amazing. I have no issues. But there's a process. There's a
Of
reason
course.
for it.
there is.
Of course.
Now you're talking. We already dealt with all the fraud voting and crazy nonsense that goes on. Can you imagine the level of incompetence that this would encompass? It's insane.
It's very
It's
insane.
insane. There's a process for a reason. And you've had to work your whole life to pay for all of this nonsense to do it. And it's like, nah, you're good. Just here you go. Why? And that's not fair to anyone.
I agree with you, Boomer, 100%. So, the last thing we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the water and sewer budget. I mean, we talked about the water budget on the previous episode. So, now we're going to talk about the sewer budget. And we're going to break it down. Again, we will come back to this in future episodes so we can go through the numbers today. And you see it on your screen. It's just two pages, 2-page documents. A lot small, but excuse me, they spend the same amount of money. They do spend a very similar amounts of funds. Actually, I think they spend more. They have a smaller tabled budget and they spend more money. I think twice the amount of the water department. And at Boomer's going through it. Jeff,
Yeah.
you can see it. We'll go through it together. So let's look at their revenue. So how much are they getting in revenue? So tax. So the sewer use charges is the most they get. So fiscal year 21, they got 15,313,000. Fiscal year 22, they only had 15,041,000. That went down. And then this year they are going to their proposed budget. They're looking to charge the taxpayers the most they ever charged in those 2 years, or ever. The most they ever charged ever. Excuse me. They're going to have 15,348,000, and we already know the rate. The rates per CCF is going to be charged. It's going to be going up 8 cents, and that looks like
8 cents.
8 cents. per
Per-
cubic foot.
Exactly.
And now we
Just
see
say
how
8
much.
cents, because everyone's like, oh, 8 cents ain't bad. Yeah.
No, there's more
8
to that.
cents times 19 per load of laundry. Do the math.
So the city believes they're going to get about $300,000 extra in revenues from that.
They're gonna get what?
$300,000 extras in revenues from that.
Oh, that's it.
Oh.
I can't wait to see whose salary goes up.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can go. No,
But
but
wait,
here's the
there's
thing.
more.
Wait. There's more. We can go into how much is going into salary. So, if you look at salaries and wages, the permanent salaries and wages, fiscal year 21, they only had 204,000. I mean, that's okay. COVID. Fiscal year 22, it's 400. Oh, actually, salaries went down.
Oh,
It went
Surprise.
down.
So in 2021, somehow they made, where is it? In the stormwater theft fee. Somehow it was higher in 2021 than it was in 22 and 23.
Really?
Weird.
Where's the stormwater? Oh, I see. It's stormwater
yeah.
fee.
That's what I'm seeing, right?
6.5. It went up. Yeah, it went up 100. Yeah, because they raised it like a cent or something. They raised it a small amount the fee.
In 2021,
Yes. Last year they raised the stormwater fee a little bit.
and they just raised it again. I know because
I think
I'm
it's the
still
same.
fighting
No,
to not pay it.
I think it's the same. It's the same amount. They didn't raise it. It's still the same
But
amount.
you're looking at over 6,530,000, right? So it was like $15,000 higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
$15,000 more in 2021 during COVID. Did they just have enough time to sit around and be like, we got to make money somewhere. We're not doing anything. We get no overtime. We're going to make another
Correct.
15 grand somewhere off the taxpayers? Because how did that change? But another thing, we're paying them almost $7 million a year for rain. Nobody has a problem with this.
Oh, we
How do 90?
We're the choir. We know. We know.
Not have a problem with the fact that they are stealing almost $7 million because it rains.
Or flooded. It's
What flooding? They don't fix any of it. Everywhere. I grew up in the city for 42 years. The city has the same flood zones it's always had. We know if it's going to rain hard, do not go down by Furniture City area. We know. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We know all the areas not to go by
Yeah.
because it rains.
Yeah.
40 years? We were kids. We used to ride our bikes through there and do all kinds of stupid stuff because we didn't care and whatever. Like we didn't have supervision, so it's fine. But now, like as an adult, it's like that's disgusting. Like the sewage, all the stuff coming out. Like what are we doing? It's nonsense. $7 million in theft, and they're still raising our costs and raising our fees. It makes no sense to me.
Hey, Boomer. So other personnel costs under their sewer plant salaries, that went up from minus $2,000 to 36, up to $71,000. So what?
Other personnel?
Yeah, the other personnel.
Where am I looking at? Is that same?
It's it's a first slide, and it'll be under sewer plant and program salaries.
All right, let me close this out. Get rid of the banner swap. Let's see here. All right, let's open this up again. Sorry, guys, I'm looking on a small screen here. I don't see the TV behind me.
No,
It's all good.
no.
All right. All the personnel costs?
Yes.
Was it 2,000?
No, that's fiscal year 21. Look at fiscal year 23.
Yeah.
It's 71,000.
Yeah, it's pretty much went from 2 to what, 30? Is that 35? A little small, but the 71. So what are they gonna do? Just keep doubling that? Is this like a compound interest thing, or how's that working? Because that's cool. Like, if that's how they're doing it, I want to invest with the sewer department. I'm going to take all my money out of the stock market and I'm going to invest with the sewer department because somehow they have the best compound interest I have ever seen in my life. I want to be there to invest with them, and whatever they're doing to get this much money out of people, I am in.
Chemicals doubled.
Well, chemicals I get. Chemicals are expensive, and doubling with
Doubled. I mean,
with issues in getting things in and
I shouldn't say
I can
doubled.
understand-
I
I
shouldn't
can
say
understand
doubled. It
some
was like
material
going up
costs.
a third.
Material costs I get.
Mm.
I've dealt with it. I've dealt with water and sewer. Materials even back then were expensive. So I understand it's an expensive thing to go with. So I get that.
Under sewer treatment plant expenses, other personnel services went up. It went up a couple $100,000. Well, I mean, other personnel expenses is
Uniform allowances went from
$6 million. I mean, this is $7 million in other expenses. Other, and just putting millions of dollars into this.
Yeah, other. No specifics, no nothing, just other expenses. What is that? Is that paper clips? Is that what is it?
Coffee machines,
Other what?
That's another.
Other expenses.
Oh, they're all getting
Yes.
coffee machines.
Are these vacations? Are these
Oh, I'm sure.
vehicles?
Vacation.
Is this a Rolex? Like, what is it? Millions of dollars unaccounted for. My issue is, again, like we talked about last time, how is anyone approving a budget that you cannot see specifically where that money is going? It's crap. City council needs to be on top of that too.
I agree.
Zero those out. I bet if you zero those out, they're going to start moving money around where you can find it. It'll be a lot harder for them to hide that money if the city council does their job and start zero out everything that says other and is not specific.
We can find out where they spend this money under the line. They're going to have the receipts for it.
Yeah, just like they did for plowing that they paid for what, 2-3 times over because they shred the receipts after they pay them. I've never heard of that process before because I'm pretty sure you can get audited, anytime. That's cool. I think you got like 5 or 7 years or something to be audited. We don't need that. We're just going to shred it. Really? Pretty sure the last time government started shredding documents, it was a big problem.
A very big problem.
Throwing it out there.
Wink.
All right, everyone. You see the budget for yourselves. You've seen both pages. If you have any questions, concerns, please post it in the comments. And we're going to dig into these budgets, see where these other costs are going to. That's very important that we discover we're all
$7,000 in telephone.
the hidden money. That look like that. I didn't like
$7,000 in telephone.
What?
Do you think they all have work phones?
No.
How many employees do they have? Does it say in here?
No.
Doesn't say, right?
No.
$7,000.
We can find out. Yeah.
I have 7 lines on my account. 7 lines.
Yeah.
And I don't pay $7,000 a year. And that's unlimited everything. So I don't know who they got their plan with. I know they hire like the Friends and Family and Government Center, but they might want to get the cell phone plan that goes with that Friends and Family. They might save us a little bit because
I know.
That's probably what. No,
really
are they handing
ridiculous.
out phones to everyone, free cell phone plans?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're breaking phones. Maybe they got some kind of, but that's just in 2021. It's $19,000 in 22 and 23. $19,000 in phones.
Wow. Who that?
Go to Comcast. Doesn't Comcast give you like free cable in the government center because of all the backwards deals? Why don't they give you free phones? Why aren't we working some kind of cost out for this? I mean, this is just simple negotiations. Like, okay, Comcast, we're going to let you lie to the people and play, 24/7 CNN. You should probably give us cell phones too.
And
I don't know, something.
At least our community, at least our government's also paying the stormwater fee. They're paying $176,000 to sewer department.
Yeah.
They're
Stormwater.
paying what?
$176,000 for the stormwater.
To do what?
I guess they have to pay the stormwater fee as well. I think that was like a federal I don't really know the history of this.
I assure you, the rainwater tax fee that they call it, it's a tax. It should be an illegal tax.
Right.
And we're gonna fight that tooth and nail. I don't care. I'm gonna fight it forever because
You should get. Why don't you think about getting a lawyer?
we're working on it.
Okay,
But I don't even have drainage on my street.
I don't even mean.
I mean, unless you count the potholes, the water does settle good in those. But that's not real drainage. It just kind of sits there, and then nobody can see them, and then you hit them harder. However, there's no drainage. There's nothing. There's nothing, and it's uphill most of the way. Then it's got to go down and then back up again. And they try to argue and tell you, well, the water doesn't drain, but it doesn't all just seep into your yard. It hits the water table, then it drains all the way down about 4 miles from where you are to the Watuppa. That's like, really? You paid yourself $7,000 for that engineering? That's what you came up with zero proof. You're just making it up. And that's like, well, no, not really. Well, there actually used to be a little river that used to cross Indian Town. It's not there anymore. So what you're saying is the water doesn't even go that far to supply that river, but it goes all the way down to the Watuppa now? Is that what you're saying?
That makes sense.
So one river disappeared because there's not enough water getting to it. But it's bypassing that, going right over it. It's like,
I wonder how many people.
I
wonder like how many people have these same issues as Boomer is like with
I think everybody's just so used to just paying and accepting it is the problem.
That's
We the people need to stop it just accepting their word as gospel and use common sense.
I agree.
He tried to explain it 3 different ways, and all 3 ways made no sense. And though everybody in my area, we have wells, septic tanks. We don't live on city amenities. We don't have any. So that's the only way you could try to steal money from them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's insane to me.
Okay.
And then it's gonna be for something that people have no control over?
Unless they go out and vote and let people know that I'm tired of this.
I assure you, if I'm ever in office, I want to see where all that money's going. It's going to be shown.
Oh,
And
I
people are
agree.
I'm going to get assassinated probably because people are going to go to
Oh my
jail.
God.
People are going to go to jail for me letting the people in as much as I will. I don't care. We have the right to know. You, the people, have the right to know. You should see it all. And that scam of rainwater tax, is atrocious.
It's not necessary.
Absolutely not.
Remove it.
Absolutely
I
not.
want
Yeah.
And then they won't let you filter water. They won't let you contain the water. They won't let you do your gardens with it. They won't let you do anything with it. But they want to charge you for it, even though they do nothing with it. Because if you ask them if they actually filter that water, they don't. They'll tell you, no, that's not part of it. It's weird. You can't track how much snow was plowed, so you paid the guy twice. Now you're telling me, but you can
Hey,
track the
Boomer,
rainfall?
you just gave me. I don't mean to cut you off, but you just
No,
gave me a
you're
good
good.
idea for a future episode. I really want to go into those snow. I want to find out the new snow stipends. I bet people got snow stipends.
Oh, I agree.
Oh.
I agree.
I want to see how
And we saw
where
how
many
bad
people
it was.
got. Yeah, they did.
But how much are they making tickets on finding people? Don't worry. We're gonna
from this
give you-
year,
we're gonna
right?
give
So
Joe Builder, my friend, all the tips in the world to build these immaculate buildings with no parking. We're gonna give him an exception to that. He doesn't need the parking. Then we're gonna tell all the citizens in the city that live in those areas, you can't park on the street. Well, where would you like them to park? Because you just put buildings, housing where they could park. You didn't make enough parking for that housing because you gave them special
To use
privileges.
it.
They didn't need it. You gave them tips on the building, so they made millions hand over fist. They're making more hand over fist, and then you're charging those people that suffered more money. Incredible,
I agree,
incredible.
Boomer.
That the people
Boomer,
are
I don't
out
mean
there.
I don't mean to cut everyone off. I think we're gonna wrap it up. So, no,
Yeah.
And next week we're gonna go more in depth into the budgetary. It's gonna every single week is gonna come out more and more. We're gonna see the draft budget very soon. That may come out next week. The fiscal year 23 draft, and we're gonna break that down. That's gonna be fun to break down.
Yeah,
The
I
actual
wanna compare- I
the
wanna
city
compare
draft.
both.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be great to break down. We're gonna get the answers for the public of where the
Alright.
money's going, like Boomer said. All right, everyone. That was a great episode. Thank you, Jeff,
Thank
for coming
you for
on.
having
Thank
me.
you, Boomer, for participating and helping us out. And I'll see everyone next week. Have a great day, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.